Choose your weapon. Gentlemen, let's take this to the kitchen.
There's no explanation for why competitive cooking TV shows are so addictive, but it certainly makes them extremely successful and profitable for networks. While other shows of the same style have more or less the same concept, what sets My Kitchen Rules apart is that in addition to making extraordinary food and whole meals, the competitors also have the extra challenge of transforming their own houses into a restaurant to be functional at the end of the night. There's more than that though. What is seen on screen is only the icing of the cake of what is a long production process, hours of work, and even various scandals. Do you want to know more? Keep with us to discover these unknown facts about My Kitchen Rules. But before that, do you want to win any of these items on your screen? If so, make sure to watch the whole video, like, comment a hidden keyword, and subscribe for your chance to enter. It's that easy. One of the most interesting aspects of My Kitchen Rules is the fact that each team needs to remodel their own house for the competition. While that is usually very tiresome and complicated for contestants, it also takes their creativity to new levels, something which is always fascinating to see. What most people don't know is that sometimes the houses supposedly belonging to participants aren't actually theirs. As many casual viewers might know, sometimes My Kitchen Rules have international competitors, and as such, it should be pretty obvious that they don't live in their own house to remodel for the show's first round. For this, they usually rent an appropriate house for the show. This also applies to Australian contestants who don't have a residence in Sydney, where the show is usually filmed. In other cases, when contestants don't live in houses big enough to fit the production staff and camera team, they either rent a house or ask friends or family to use theirs. As if things weren't complicated enough for the ones who decide to compete in My Kitchen Rules. Working in a borrowed house surely puts a lot of pressure on them. Everyone who appears in My Kitchen Rules isn't randomly picked. Sometime before each season airs, contestants go through a long audition process to be selected by the show's production staff. They also have to fulfill certain criteria. Usually, they need to have some type of experience in cooking, no matter if they're professionals or amateurs. It's also mandatory for each team to be formed by people who have been friends or at least acquaintances for some time. There's also another difficulty requirement for My Kitchen Rules participants. During the auditions, they're never sure if they're selected or not, but they are asked to constantly submit to the show dozens of recipes at once. This often results in them submitting recipes for food or meals that they've never cooked before. This is when things get complicated. Contestants normally don't have enough time to prepare themselves for the show, as they're only told they're selected the day before filming. In addition, the production team selects 3 recipes out of the several submitted by the team, which ultimately leads them to be utterly confused. So, if you've ever wondered why some contestants are disoriented when asked to prepare certain meals, now you know the reason. It's not clear why watching a live TV show is so exciting, but there's something undeniably special about it. However, this isn't the case with My Kitchen Rules, as each episode of the show, including the finale, is recorded long before it goes to air. While this makes it easier for the production team to fix recording errors and probably save money, the truth is that in the past, this caused problems, as some former contestants couldn't keep the winner a secret and have told, even sold that information to the media. To ensure no one knows who really won until each season's final episode aired, the show's staff resolved to record 2 endings in which the 2 final teams were both declared winners. Even though taking these measures has been effective to prevent information leaks, it's turned out negative for the participants. As the 9th season's runner-up, Romeo Koyan told the website Now to Love, the experience of waiting for the results was a headscrew due to how distressing it was, and the lengthy time they had to wait to finally know. Even if creating false expectations for the non-winning team is somewhat cruel, it was definitely a smart move by the show's producers. Unconfirmed rumors and urban myths about TV shows are common, as you may know, and My Kitchen Rules is not the exception. Probably one of the most rare but famous speculations about the show is the belief that judges don't eat the food that contestants prepare. This rumor, although seemingly unharmful, can be negative for the program and people involved in it, which led the food experts and show's judge, Pete Evans, to address the issue in an interview with the Herald Sun. He affirmed that every My Kitchen Rules judges take their time to taste each meal given to them, in addition to assuring all that he's never spat out the food given to him, despite following a strict paleo diet. While this rumor is cleared up, many people keep wondering why they often don't see any of these things happening in the show. However, this has an explanation as well. Judges usually eat the food off camera and have already made the deliberations by the time we get to see them tasting small portions of the food on air. It's done this way to let them appreciate the food while it's still hot and also not waste limited TV time. Nobody denies reality shows are excessively entertaining, but this category of TV is not exactly the most trustworthy type of media. As is widely known, these kinds of programs more often than not showcase situations planned beforehand and even sometimes scripted. Another aspect is that My Kitchen Rules is characterized by the competitiveness between participants and how this often ensues drama between them. This is of course extremely attractive for the audience, though it also arouses suspicions about whether or not the rivalries between the contestants are fake. So are the feuds in the show staged or not? Much to the dismay of several show detractors, it apparently isn't faked. According to the 9th season's runner-up Rolla Kfori, as soon as the teams step onto the set, an unspoken animosity develops between them. While some participants are initially polite, the pressure ultimately gets the worst of them, and at times they even end up throwing insults at each other. The show's judge, Pete Evans, has also defended the program and denied the scripted speculations. In his words, the reason there's always some type of rivalry between the teams is because the production team carefully chooses contestants with bold and interesting personalities who can provide an entertaining show for the audience. Appearing in My Kitchen Rules was, most of the time, a positive experience for those who dared to do it, even for those who didn't get to win. Although winning the competition doesn't guarantee success, the generous prize of $250,000 is very helpful. This was the case with the first season's winning team, Shadi and Veronica, who not only managed to open their own restaurant, Eva Cucina and Coffee Bar in Queensland, but also achieved their dream of becoming parents together. Sammy and Bella from the second season have a similar story. After becoming winners of My Kitchen Rules in 2011, they went on to start a catering service company and a restaurant, in addition to making several appearances in TV's The Morning Show. Their footsteps were followed by the 6th season's winners, Steve and Will, who completely left behind their banking careers and concentrated on establishing their own restaurant, Butcher and the Farmer, and releasing a cookbook. However, things didn't turn out so well for Jennifer and Lee from the 3rd season. The former friends aren't on good terms nowadays, and even though Lee has tried to fix things between them, her efforts have been unsuccessful. This is quite sad, as the pair is well remembered for their eccentric personalities and looks. Television shows are very careful of what's shown on screen, which is already obvious considering even the smallest details can determine a show's success. When it comes to reality TV, we usually assume things are less complicated in this regard, but that's certainly not true. In the case of My Kitchen Rules, it's been known that the contestants' contracts oblige them to comply with certain rules in order to fit into the show's criteria. One of the most interesting requirements is that teams shouldn't communicate off-screen, not even off-set. Though it's not clear why participants are asked to avoid having any type of contact, it must be something really important, given the fact that production staff personally surveil them to ensure that they don't break this rule. In addition, contestants are asked to wear clothes chosen for them by the production staff, and so don't have any say in choosing their wardrobe. Although this detail doesn't seem to be very important, it's worth noting that My Kitchen Rules is supposedly meant to show the real essence of every contestant. Thus, it doesn't make much sense to impose on them the wearing of clothes which often don't represent their true preference or personality. We already know contestants have problems remembering recipes because, more often than not, they haven't actually prepared the foods before the show. However, have you ever wondered why some of them have problems using their own kitchen appliances? The answer is because those artifacts don't necessarily belong to them and are provided by the show's sponsors instead. This shouldn't be a real problem if it wasn't for the fact that it can complicate the contestant's performance a lot. At the time that they're trying to remember how to cook the food, they may also be learning how to use these unfamiliar appliances. There are also other circumstances where sponsors play a big role in the success or failure of every team. According to some former My Kitchen Rules contestants, they couldn't bring snacks or smoke during the filming, in addition to waiting long hours until the production staff brought them meals. This means that only sponsored drinks and alcohol would be provided to them, increasing the stress and tension on set. It's also noteworthy that energy drinks of any type were strictly prohibited from the set, for unknown reasons. For years, My Kitchen Rules was the peak of Australian TV ratings. In 2016, it had an average of 1.5 million viewers, making it the network's second most watched show, only behind the then-hit series Molly. Then in 2018, the show broke its own ratings record by averaging 1.7 million viewers during its 9th season premiere. Something impressive considering the 2019 ratings went down to 1.2 million viewers before the 10th season's launch. Things continued worsening for My Kitchen Rules, as in 2020, it reached new ratings lows with 776,000 viewers during season 11's premiere. The following episodes had an average of 400,000, and this ultimately led to the show's cancellation early that year. What caused this sudden change? Everything points to the increasing lack of enthusiasm of Australian audiences looking for competition shows, affecting not only My Kitchen Rules, but also other top programs of the same genre, such as MasterChef Australia. Though My Kitchen Rules production director Andrew Blackwell said that there's a possibility of the show's return after a revamp, nothing is certain as for now. Whether it comes back in the future or not, it's undeniable that My Kitchen Rules gave its audience uncountable hours of entertainment, and for that, it'll be remembered for years to come.
Thank you for spending some time with us.
Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.